In the ocean, there is a simple rule. Big eats small. Fast eats slow. But sometimes, something appears that breaks every rule. A creature so elusive, so alien, that even the ocean's top predators keep their distance. A shadow with arms. Eyes the size of dinner plates. And a grip that never lets go. The giant squid. For centuries, it existed only in nightmares. Sailors whispered about it. Scientists doubted it. But deep below the surface, in a world without sunlight, this creature was always very real. And it wasn't just surviving. It was hunting. But this is where things get strange. Because the giant squid doesn't rule the ocean by speed. Or size alone. It rules through something far more terrifying. Ambush. To understand why this creature inspires fear, we have to go deeper. Far deeper. Into a place where pressure can crush steel, where light disappears, and where evolution takes a very different path. The deep sea. Down here, everything changes. Food is scarce. Energy is precious. And survival is brutal. Creatures can't afford mistakes. So they evolve in extreme ways. Transparent bodies. Bioluminescent lures. Gigantic eyes. And sometimes, arms lined with hooks and suction cups. The giant squid is built for this world. Its body can stretch longer than a bus. Its tentacles can shoot out faster than you can blink. And those tentacles are not just limbs. They're weapons. Lined with hundreds of suckers, each one edged with sharp, serrated rings. Imagine hundreds of tiny bear traps, closing all at once. That's what it feels like to be caught. And prey rarely escapes. But here's the mystery. If the giant squid is so powerful, why do we almost never see it? For decades, it was a ghost. No clear footage. No live sightings. Just scars. Scars found on something even more powerful. Sperm whales. Massive creatures. The largest predators on Earth. And yet, their skin tells a story. Circular wounds. Deep gouges. Perfectly spaced. Marks left behind by something with many arms, and a desperate will to survive. This would be like a lion coming back from a hunt, covered in claw marks from something we've never seen. And that's not even the weirdest part. Because sometimes, the squid wins. Inside the stomachs of sperm whales, scientists have found massive squid remains. Proof of battle. But not always proof of victory. Some whales surface with injuries so severe, they never recover. So what kind of creature can fight a giant and live? The answer lies in how the giant squid hunts. Unlike fast predators, it doesn't chase. It waits. In the darkness, motionless. Its enormous eyes scanning the black water. And those eyes are not normal. They are the largest eyes in the entire animal kingdom. Bigger than a human head. Why? To detect something very specific. Light. Even the faintest glow. Down here, bioluminescence is everywhere. Tiny flashes. Flickers in the dark. Signals of life. And signals of death. The giant squid uses its eyes to spot disturbances, especially something huge moving through the water. Like a sperm whale. Because when a whale swims, it disrupts bioluminescent organisms around it. Creating a glowing outline. Like a shadow, made of light. The squid sees this. And it prepares. But the real reason is far more surprising. The giant squid isn't just hunting prey. Sometimes, it's preparing for a fight. Because in the deep sea, even predators become prey. When the moment comes, the squid strikes. Its two feeding tentacles shoot forward, faster than most animals can react. They latch on. Hooks dig in. Suckers seal tight. And then, the arms follow. Wrapping. Pulling. Crushing. The prey is dragged toward its beak. Yes, a beak. Hard. Sharp. Like that of a parrot. Capable of slicing through flesh with ease. This would be like a creature with 8 arms, and a bird's mouth, pulling you into darkness. But this is where things get even more terrifying. Because the giant squid doesn't always hunt small prey. Sometimes, it grabs something much bigger. Something dangerous. Something that fights back. And in those moments, the deep sea becomes a battlefield. A silent war. No sound. No witnesses. Just pressure, darkness, and violence. Scientists believe these battles can last for minutes, sometimes longer. A struggle between two giants. One relying on strength. The other, on grip. And even when the squid loses, it leaves its mark. Those scars on whales. They're not random. They're proof. Proof that something down there can fight the ocean's strongest predator and leave it wounded. But the mystery doesn't end here. Because for all its power, we still don't fully understand this creature. We don't know how long it lives. We don't know how it reproduces. We barely know where it spends most of its time. It's like studying a ghost. And that's not even the strangest part. Because the giant squid has a relative that is even larger. Even more mysterious. The colossal squid. Heavier. Stronger. With rotating hooks instead of simple suckers. But sightings are even rarer. Meaning somewhere, in the darkest parts of the ocean, there may be creatures even more powerful than the giant squid. Creatures we haven't seen. Creatures we don't understand. And that raises a terrifying question. If something this large, this powerful, can remain hidden for so long, what else is down there? Because the ocean is vast. More than 80% of it remains unexplored. A world larger than all continents combined. And most of it is still in darkness. So when we talk about the giant squid, we're not just talking about a single creature. We're talking about a symbol. A reminder. That the ocean still holds secrets. Ancient ones. Powerful ones. And possibly, dangerous ones. But to truly understand why the entire ocean seems to fear this creature, we need to go deeper into its behavior. Deeper into its role. And deeper into the ecosystem it silently controls. Because the giant squid is not just a hunter. It's something far more important. Something that shapes the balance of life, in the darkest place on Earth. To understand the giant squid, you have to stop thinking of it as just a creature. It's a force. A silent regulator of the deep. Because in a world where food is rare, every predator matters. And the giant squid sits right in the middle of the chain. It hunts fish. Other squid. Anything it can overpower. But it is also hunted. And that balance is what keeps the deep sea alive. But this is where things get strange. Because unlike most predators, the giant squid doesn't dominate through numbers. It dominates through presence. Even a single individual can change the behavior of everything around it. Fish scatter. Smaller predators disappear. Movement slows. It's like the ocean itself holds its breath. To understand why this happens, we need to look at something deeper than teeth or strength. We need to look at fear. In the deep sea, fear is survival. Creatures don't wait to confirm danger. They react instantly. And the giant squid triggers something primal. Its shape is unfamiliar. Its movement is unpredictable. Its attack, sudden. There's no warning. No chase. Just darkness, and then contact. This would be like walking alone at night, and suddenly something grabs you from behind. That instinct exists in the ocean too. And that's not even the weirdest part. Because the giant squid doesn't just rely on physical power. It uses stealth so effectively, it almost becomes invisible. Its skin can reflect very little light. Its body blends into the black water. And its movement is slow, controlled, deliberate. It doesn't waste energy. It doesn't rush. It waits for the perfect moment. But the real reason is far more surprising. The giant squid may not just be feared for what it does, but for what it represents. Because in the deep ocean, unknown shapes mean danger. Creatures evolve to recognize patterns. Familiar silhouettes. Predictable movements. The giant squid breaks those patterns. 8 arms. 2 long tentacles. A drifting body that can suddenly explode into motion. It doesn't look like anything else. And in nature, the unfamiliar is often the most dangerous.
This is why even large predators approach with caution. Because they don't fully understand it. And when animals don't understand something, they avoid it. But here's where things become even more fascinating. Because the giant squid isn't just influencing behavior. It's shaping evolution. Over millions of years, its presence has forced other species to adapt. Faster reactions. Better camouflage. More sensitive vision. In a way, it's an invisible architect. Designing the survival strategies of countless deep-sea creatures. And this influence extends even further. Because the giant squid is a key food source for one of the ocean's most important predators. The sperm whale. A creature that dives deeper than almost anything else on Earth. Hunting in the same darkness. Chasing the same shadows. But this relationship is not simple. It's not just predator and prey. It's a constant battle. An arms race. Whales evolve stronger jaws. Squid evolve stronger grips. Whales dive deeper. Squid adapt to greater pressure. Each pushing the other to the limits of survival. This is evolution in its rawest form. Not peaceful. Not balanced. But brutal. And ongoing. But this is where things get even more mysterious. Because despite all this interaction, we have almost no direct footage of these encounters. No clear recordings of a full battle. No complete understanding of how they end. It's like watching a war, through scattered evidence. Scars. Remains. Fragments. And trying to piece together the story. But the real reason we know so little is because of where it happens. The deep sea is one of the most extreme environments on Earth. Crushing pressure. Freezing temperatures. Total darkness. Machines struggle to survive here. Cameras fail. Lights disturb natural behavior. Even our best technology is just beginning to scratch the surface. Which means, the giant squid still has the advantage. It lives where we cannot easily go. It behaves in ways we rarely witness. And it hides, in plain darkness. But here's something even more unsettling. The giant squid is not unique in its mystery. It's just the most famous. There are countless deep-sea creatures we've barely discovered. Some only seen once. Some only known from fragments. And some not seen at all. Which raises a powerful idea. The giant squid may not be the exception. It may be the rule. A glimpse into a world where evolution creates creatures that seem impossible. Creatures that don't follow surface rules. Creatures that live in silence and strike without warning. And that changes how we see the ocean. Because when people think of the sea, they imagine open water. Sunlight. Waves. Life near the surface. But that's only a fraction. The real ocean is below. A vast, dark ecosystem that operates on completely different principles. Where sight is limited. Where sound travels differently. Where pressure reshapes biology. And in that world, the giant squid is perfectly adapted. Not just to survive, but to thrive. But this leads to one final question. If the giant squid is so important, so powerful, so deeply connected,